Hi there folks, this is just a wee update video on the Trying Princess Louise that I sorted recently there. A kind of little part 3 of sorts, I suppose. I did say I was going to look at this again to try to quieten it down and to disable the smoke generator. I tried making a more detailed video on this, but as I suspected might happen, it just became far too much of a faff and a fiddle. Sometimes videoing things just gets in the way, so I decided to switch the camera off and just get on with it, and just let you know how I got on. If you saw this running, you'll maybe remember it was a bit grindy sounding going forwards. So that was how it sounded, but let's listen to it now. Go backwards and go forwards. That's a lot better. So I'll take this to the bench and pop the body off and explain what I did. This body comes off an awful lot easier than it did. Still quite a tight fit though. Just get a screwdriver under the front there and out it comes. Okay, so I removed the gear for the smoke generator, and I did think about moving these wires, to connect that back to there. But I realised once that smoke generator gear was out the way, the wires are actually better here. They're not going to get in the way of this wheel or in the way of the armature. So I left them as they were, but I've put some extra insulation there because the wee bit that was there was in danger of slipping off, and then this wire might touch a metal part and cause a short. So that'll be better. Okay, so to reduce the grinding noise, the first thing I tried was pulling the worm gear this way a little bit. That didn't make any difference, so I tried pushing it back and reducing the amount of movement in the armature, because there was an awful lot of back and forward play. So pushing the worm gear back reduced that, but no, it was still grinding pretty badly. I took the motor apart and I replaced the rear bearing, and that did make a bit of a difference actually, but there was still a little grinding noise that I didn't like. So I ended up pulling this worm gear off entirely and fitting another one. That's the old one. Fitted another one, and that did the trick. So it wasn't so much the position of the worm gear, I think it was just the condition of it, coupled with the condition of the rear bearing, and yeah, that seems to have done the trick, replacing the worm gear and the bearing. I think ideally replacing the drive gear would be a good idea as well, but it seems to be in pretty good condition. So there we go, I'm quite happy with how this is running. You'll never get these old models to run absolutely perfectly. You'll get the odd one that just runs fantastically, and that's just more fluke than anything else. And I think the main reason you get some super quiet ones is that the armatures are perfectly balanced. If there's no vibration coming from the motor, you're probably going to get fairly quiet, smooth running. But the vast majority of these motors vibrate. Right, okay, we'll get the body on, and that will be that. So there we are, that's this old Princess Louise running, probably as nice as it ever has. I've had it way long enough though, so I shall get this packed up and sent back to Alan. I'm sure he's desperate to get it back. Right, okay folks, catch us later. And yes, as some of you spotted, the late goblin's been at it again, cow in the platform shelter there. And I believe the sheepdog has been shut in the lampshade, but I don't know what's happened to the shepherd.